So it is my great pleasure to introduce Gabriel Krummenacher from Zulke, and he's going to talk about a large-scale survey they're doing on how Swiss companies are doing with AI and its real-world impact. So welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Yes, so that's going to be the topic of this talk. Thanks a lot for coming. It's called The State of Enterprise Machine Learning in 2023. And what's the state? So in summary, AI is hot again, as you all know. AI is so hot that newspapers write about it. The New York Times writes about, we need to talk about how good AI is getting. It's in the NZZ folio, it's on television. AI is so hot that it had to go to the White House and talk to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden about making sure that people don't burn their hands too much. So yeah, it's a big topic again. And as you, of course, all know, this is because of the recent boom of generative AI models, especially large language models. And we've looked back a bit, and I think this nicely also goes hand in hand with the history of this conference, where I think yesterday at the celebration dinner, someone mentioned that SDS was founded and there was this big data was a big topic, and it's true. And we also saw this, like at that time, this is what companies were interested in. And then it shifted a bit more towards machine learning, data science use cases. So companies actually using machine learning and data science to do use cases. And then 2-3 years ago, something else became more popular. We saw a lot of data-driven company. How can I make my organization actually ready to deploy machine learning models? And now, of course, it's generative AI. There's a few very useful use cases that we see that most companies at the moment are working on or interested. One we call Ask Your Document. We had a generative AI workshop yesterday where we got into more detail, so I only have 10 minutes. I'm not going to spend much time on this, but basically the idea is you can use your own data with generative AI models and then have them answer questions based on your data. It's the same for speech to text. It got much better. Models that came out recently, Whisper, for instance, are much better. They are very useful to use in if you have phone calls with clients and you need to summarize them. So imagine like a large center where people interact with customers and then directly transcribe and summarize and extract structured information from these dialogues while the person is talking to a client. It goes even further, so these models can also use tools. So you can build, and we are building, applications that you can interact with a chat interface, and they can actually execute functions like changing the address, for instance. So here's an example of interacting with a chatbot that can then go and change your address. Now, of course, as we all know, this is relatively recent. Most companies, this is proof of concepts, it's prototypes, it's finding out where can this technology be used, where does it really provide value, where is it just like interesting from a technology perspective, but maybe not necessarily a business use case. And as you also know that proof of concepts get stuck, right? Just because something is nice, it doesn't necessarily translate into a business use case. And so we did a survey and a study 2-3 years ago exactly on this topic. Like what is stopping companies from actually productionizing machine learning, from using it to actually generate, to have an impact. And we found that as I said, one problem, a third of the companies had the problem that they couldn't get their proof of concepts to production. And so we looked at like, why is this, like where are companies stopped? Why is this gap of a vast majority of companies think AI has a huge potential, but then only a small minority thought that their company was ready to actually fulfill this potential. And so we did this survey with more than 100 companies, and we got very interesting results on different levels of what are the reasons for this, where are companies stuck, and so on. And then we shared this back with everyone who participated, who could then learn where do they stand relative to other companies, what are general learnings from all the companies, are there like themes, and how they can deal with this. And we have a framework then, of course, and then we helped companies overcome some of these barriers to becoming a data-driven company. Okay, but what I actually want to talk about is that we are now doing something similar, but on a new topic. So we teamed up together with a chair at ETH to look at where do companies stand at the moment in terms of adoption of machine learning and usage of machine learning. And the focus is really not like what prototypes are companies looking at right now, but what's actually running in production, driving KPIs, what lowering cost, increasing customer satisfaction, generating additional revenue. So where do people and companies actually use machine learning, and it's having an impact. So we focus on impactful applications of machine learning. And we're curious, and everyone who's participated so far is curious, where do they stand with regards to other companies, or also what are common themes or types of machine learning applications, or areas of applications where there's a lot of impact, and maybe where there's types of machine learning or areas of machine learning or areas of application where there's not a lot of impact. In terms of the data that you share, since we work together with ETH, we can guarantee data protection and confidentiality. So we're not going to see your name if you enter this survey. This is all on ETH servers. They're only going to share anonymized aggregated data with us. We even got an approval by the ethics committee at ETH. So the ethics board reviewed our survey design and processes, and basically guarantee that we adhere to these. Yes, so as said, the data is collected on ETH side, and all your personal data will not be used, only for this survey, basically, and then will be anonymized and, of course, deleted once it's not necessary to have it for the survey anymore. And right, so look, I wanted to show you a bit how this looks. So as said, so we are interested mainly on impact, and with impact we mean applications that lower cost, as said, increase customer satisfaction, generate revenue, or enable new products and services. And so for one application, we want to know a bit more details, like what KPIs are affected by the outcome of the machine learning applications, and how critical, for instance, the application is for the business. To then be able to analyze how different types of machine learning or different applications or areas have different impact in different markets. And then, so that's our process, that's not important. What's important is that we then want to look at this one application throughout the development of machine learning. So there's going to be questions on how is the data processed, where is it processed, like relatively high level. So it's not going to be like technical details. It's going to be, is it an in-house data platform or is it a cloud service? Things like this for the processing, the training of the machine learning models, and then also the deployment. And then we're interested in how the predictions are used, in what way. Is it something that is shown to a person that then uses this as a recommendation? Is it something that's automatically triggering an action, and so on? Or is it just supplementary information in the process? And then at the end of the survey, we wanted to know, because this is, of course, also a very important topic, especially now with the use of these large language models, also with considering that the EU is thinking of specifically regulating AI and AI applications. Where do companies stand with regards to this? Do they already have a process, a framework on how to deal with this for AI applications, and so on? And of course we do. Yes, but so this is a nice collaboration between the Chair of Technology and Innovation Management at ETH, led by Stefano Brusoni. You might have seen Sebastian already today. He's also here and motivating people to join the survey, and it's by our data and AI practice at Zülke. So yes, please join the survey, share some of your experience, some of your applications, and then also as a benefit, get back what other people have shared. It's nice to, I think, for many people to see where they stand with regards to other companies in the same market, for instance. Are they ahead? Are they behind? Do they see similar use cases? Do they see different use cases, and so on? It's interesting to learn also what, maybe there's a type of use case or an application that most people had success with, or that's already impactful. So that's, I guess, also important to know. So benchmarking is certainly a benefit. So if you participate, we will offer you to give you personal feedback of the results of the study and present you with the results. And then, of course, you can also win something. So if you participate, you can win a ideation vision scope workshop with us, where we help you create an understanding of where machine learning can be used in your business, what are use cases with potential or not. Yes, so please join the survey. You can go to this link or come to our booth. Or talk to Sebastian. He's here with an iPad, so you can already sign up if you want. We're also recruiting, so if you're interested in joining Zülke or joining the survey, go to these addresses. Thanks a lot.